Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. In today's video, we're gonna have a little bit of a discussion about who your first 6-star should be on a brand new Raid account if you're deciding to play in 2025, past this point, which is, I'm recording this in May 2025, and this has kind of changed a little bit. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean by the fact that we do get some different, power starts for our accounts. Maybe you've not seen my video a couple of days ago. I kind of showed the account that I have and how I chose to start it by using a specific link from some content creators. The ones that I used was from Vulcan, Raid Shadow Legends. That gives you some legendaries just for free, at least one legendary and some 3 epics. And it kind of can change the decision based on what you choose to go with as your first 6-star. Not necessarily from the link, but when we're talking about the promo codes, right? So I'm going to say from now, it might be a little bit of a controversial decision or a controversial opinion, but I believe that in 2025, going for your starter as the first 6-star, right, which is going to be Gaelic, Aethel, Elhain, or Kale, is not going to be the right way to do that. And the reason for that is, I'm going to follow it. Why? Because there are some different options that might make you change that, change your decision. However, let's start with still getting your 6-star, your first 6-star to be your starter. Well, you can see I did choose to go with Kale as my first 6-star. The reason for that is because I chose the promo code Desert Queen that gave me to Hanorach, right? So because of that reason, I chose to go with Kale as my first 6-star. Hanorach's more of a support hero, right? Brings healing, debuffs, increased speed, increased defense, cleanses debuffs, and an amazing aura in all battles. Now, if I've not gone with Hanorach and would have chosen a different one, then my decision would have changed. And let me show you exactly what are the other options, right? If you ever want to find the promo codes, the most up-to-date stuff, unless I make a video on it, you can always go to hellhades.com and they're always going to have the most up-to-date promo code. So if you go and look at their website, right, you go to hellhades.com, then you go over here and you're going to see if you scroll down to the bottom, there's promo codes just above my head. And it's going to take you to the page where it kind of shows you, an intro, how you can use them, where you can use them, and all that. But if we look over here, we have several sections, right? New player codes, time limited, link codes, and then Call of the Arbiter, which are inactive. But the ones that we're focusing on today are going to be the new player codes, because you can only use one of these. And now you're going to see that there's going to be plenty of them, right? You can get Toragi, Allure, Oboro, Cormac, the High Peak, Luria, Apothecary, Night Errant, Chonoru, Sun Wukong, Loki the Deceiver, Luthia, Hoskarul, Mordecai, Rector Drath, Mossily Mage, Stylesia, Ornn, Kaides, Urtikara, Fenchi, Melga, Jiggle Hunter, Stag, Sigmund the High Shield, right? Another legendary. And then we come to one of the most juicy ones, and that's going to be Supreme Gaelic, right? So all of these ones are the types of codes that you can only use one, and it has to be in the first 48 hours. And I think it has to be before you're level 15 or 20, something like that. So make sure you use it right as soon as you can, you're done with the tutorial, make sure you use one of these codes. Now, there are some ones, and there's also one that, as you go into the game says like, oh yeah, use a promo code. It kind of gives, I think it's Alice is another one that I cannot find exactly over here on the list, but that's one of those codes that you can use when, at the beginning, right? As soon as you create your account, it just pops up in the Plarium Play and it kind of gives you Alice, Sun Wukong, and Loki to choose between. So the reason I'm saying that the starter would not be your first choice, well, it would not be your first choice if you choose maybe to go with Sun Wukong as your promo code, if you choose to go with Supreme Gaelic as your promo code, or if you choose to go with Alice. And honestly, from my point of view, if you're planning to start to play the game and try to do this for long term, I think the code you should be using should be Supreme 6, because it does give you Supreme Gaelic, which is a Void Legendary, which is top tier, which is amazing, right? He is just awesome. He brings lots of stuff. He's a good damage dealer. He is one of the most, end game viable. Same thing with Hanorach, but I feel like Supreme Gaelic will take you longer, take you further because of that. We're gonna look at his kit, but first of all, let's start with the first one at the top, right? Hopefully this one's still active. If not, just I guess skip this part. But let's look at Alice's kit. Where is she, right? Is she a Sacred Order? Or is she a Bannerlord? I always confuse her, right? Again, oh yeah, there we go. I was right. Even I was gone from the game for a few months, I was a little bit right. So Alice the Wonder. Why do I believe she can be worthy to be one of the first 6 stars? Well, double hit on the A1 places extra hit if the target has any skills on cooldown. Also has 80% decreased duration of random buff on the target. This goes up to 100%. But this is the reality, right? Or at least this one, right, makes it be viable because she does bring an AoE, right? It is a 4-turn cooldown. So it's harder to get legendary skill tones, but she might be still worth doing it because she can do some good hits with this one, right? AoE hit, chance to put skills on cooldown, also chance to decrease the turn meter. If at least one of the skill has its cooldown increased to the max, decrease the turn meter by 30% instead. So this can be really powerful, especially in arena, but also can be good for waves and control. She does have only a single hit over here, but it ignores defense, right? If the initial target is killed, also attacks the enemy with the lowest HP. So she kind of brings, not only does she bring an AoE hit on the second skill, but with this one, she can do at least a double hit, right? So most of the time you should be killing this, and especially we're talking campaign farming where you need to kill 12-3, right, the waves, she can still be doing that. And then she has a passive, whenever this champion attacks, inflicts 3% more damage to each target for each turn remaining on all of their skills. Cooldowns, the bonus damage is counting individually for each target. Then there's also active skill, resets the cooldown of one of this champion skill each time they kill an enemy, right? So this one is only 3-turn cooldown, but still, let's say use your first skill, right? The first wave, you kill somebody, right? Use this one, you kill somebody, you get this reset, you get to the second wave, you kill the wave again, and then once you get to the last one, you kind of do this, and you know, she's definitely worthy to be there. Plus, she brings an ally attack increase in all battles. So that's Alice. That's why she would be worth it to be worthy to be there for 6-star instead of a rare. Again, I do know and do keep in mind the fact that it's harder to get legendary skill books and it's harder to ascend the legendaries because you require more, you require more resources and higher level ones, but their kit is strong enough to make them worthy. Next one is gonna be obviously Sun Wukong. If you look over, if you go to the Skinwalkers, where's Sun Wukong hiding? There we go. So Sun Wukong is kind of, pretty straightforward. Stun on the A1. Then this one again, it's a single target hit. However, if it does kill the enemy, then any surplus damage is dealt to everybody else, which means again, this can be an AoE hit, right? And then the third skill is just straight up an AoE hit, and also a passive that keeps, bringing him back to life, but for campaign farming doesn't really count. And then speed in arena. So he would be amazing for the choice of having a speed lead in arena, plus he's really good in arena, especially early on. But the reality why he would be a good nuker, right, he would be a good 6-star first for campaign farming is because again, AoE on the third skill, second skill can be an AoE because this one does lots of damage as it ignores defense, so he's again really viable. And then from my point of view, the number one choice is going to be Supreme Gaelic because first of all, he is going to be void, right? It doesn't matter what stages you're going to go and farm or push through the campaign, he's never going to weak hit, right? He's not going to be strong against those waves either, but he's not going to weak hit, which means he's always going to be doing maximum damage. And the reason why he's really good as he chose for the first 6-star is because again, the first skill has double hit, nothing too special. Second skill attacks 4 times at random, but puts increased attack on himself before attacking, which means this one can pretty much kill a wave, right? You can easily farm 12-3 with him by using the second skill. You're gonna kill everything. And then the third one, again, it's an AoE hit. Now, the reason why he's gonna be the better option is because, well, first of all, like I mentioned, he does have the AoE hits, also brings the attack increase in all battles, right? Plus he can, withstand some of these control effects if he ever gets landed, at least on a 4-turn cooldown, and then heals himself and gets an extra turn. So, those pesky waves where you get stunned or provoked or slept or whatever, he can be helpful. But not only does he bring the 2 AoEs that are really good, the reason why he's so good is because this third skill, the fact that he brings AoE HP burn and block buffs and can land decreased speed, just makes him extremely powerful for doing the first things that, are the main priority in the new account. And that's going to be pushing the progress missions, right? So progress missions kind of ask you to do several things. Do this, do that. Well, he's going to help you to be able to deal with Spider on higher stages because he brings AoE HP burn, right? We're talking normal Spider. Then he's going to be able to help you to deal with the Fire Knight as well, right? Which is another one of the priorities because, Fire Knight requires several hits in that shield. And guess what? He brings those 4 hits on the second skill. He brings the double hit on the first skill. So all in all, he's just the most viable option. Even HP burn, right? HP burn really powerful against dragon, right? Poisons are better because you can place more, but still having the HP burn, having the block buffs as well can help for any, you know, lots of other areas where you need to put the block buffs. If we're talking about stuff like the Doom Tower, he can be helpful. So honestly, the number one choice for this first 6-star in 2025, if you use the code Supreme Gaelic, unless, you know, there's a new login that comes out that's you know, amazing for early on or amazing campaign farmer, but the number one should be Supreme Gaelic, right? And now again, back to my account, why did I choose to go with Tuhanorak? Well, the reason why I chose to go with Tuhanorak is because the account that I'm currently playing and what I'm trying to do now is a 30-day challenge, right? I'm only gonna play for 30, maybe up to 35 days, and I'm trying to see if I can get to Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss in those 30 days by using a specific link that gave me, you know, a free ally protector in Verges. He's not the best, but still he brings us an ally protect, which is helpful for a killable comp. And then I really wanted her because she does bring increased speed, increased defense, decreased attack, remove debuff. So pretty much all, you know, most of the stuff that you need for a killable Clan Boss team. So that's why I chose her. If I decided to play this account long term, I would have 100% gone with Supreme Gaelic, which, you know what, maybe later in the future I might, you know, decide after you know, playing some Godforge, see how that one goes, and you know, the break up until it's actually officially launched, I might start a new challenge, and that one I'm definitely gonna go with Supreme Gaelic. But my conclusion is, in 2025, if you do decide to choose as your promo code to be Supreme Gaelic or Samukong or Alice, then you don't need to get your first 6-star to be the starter, or at least I would not 6-star the starter first, I would go with the legendaries. But let me know what do you think in the comments down below, right? If you're somebody that's been playing for a while and just creates accounts to have some more fun, do you agree with me or disagree? Please keep it civil though, right? I know it's a little bit of a different controversial opinion, or you know, there might be more people sharing my opinion than I realize, and you know, I'm really curious what you guys think. But yeah, thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye guys.